Welcome to the 2010 Candidate Forums featuring elections for local, state, and congressional offices, recorded live from the B.W. Simpkins Center at BCC's Cocoa campus. These forums are made possible through a partnership between Brevard Community College, Florida Today, the League of Women Voters, and the Space Coast Tiger Bay Club. And now, tonight's forum.
Good evening and welcome to this, the fifth in a series of candidate forums here in the B.W. Simpkins Fine Arts Auditorium at Brevard Community College's Cocoa campus. I'm J.B. Comp, President-elect of Tiger Bay Club, and we're in partnership with BCC, Florida Today, and the Space Coast League of Women Voters to bring you these informative discussions. Tonight we'll be featuring the three candidates for District 24 Florida State Senate. And before I introduce you to the candidates, let me explain the format for tonight's forum. There'll be a 2-minute opening statement by all three of our candidates, followed by questions from the audience, the live studio audience here in the B.W. Simpkins Auditorium. I'll direct those on a rotating basis to each of the candidates. They'll have a minute to respond to those questions and an optional 30-second rebuttal opportunity. Following the final candidate response, the candidates will be given a 1-minute closing statement opportunity. All right, Bart, this question comes to you for a first response, please. What is your position on illegal immigrants in the state of Florida? What penalties should be in place against employers here who hire them? And should there be any exceptions?
Interesting question. That's gotten a lot of attention recently with what's happening in Arizona. As I said, I'm a strong supporter of the 10th Amendment, and I believe in states' rights, and I support what Arizona is doing. I have firsthand experience in many ways. I actually lived in Colombia, South America. I speak fluent Spanish. My wife is from Colombia. She is a legal immigrant and now a citizen of the United States. It's important to note that there are a lot of good people, but at the end of the day, what needs to happen is that we need to send these good people home with their minor children, citizens or not, to their country of origin and allow them to come back into the state legally so that they're not a burden on the taxpayers. We also need to streamline the guest worker program so that people will get those visas and work them properly. We need to also track the people that come into this state on visas and tourist visas to make sure that they do return to their country of origin.
Well, simple response to the first part of the question, illegal pretty much says it all. If you enter the country illegally, then you should be punished with the full extent of the laws that are already in place. That's where Arizona ran into a problem. The federal government wasn't enforcing its own law. They wrote a law that mirrored the federal government, and I would support their right to do that 100%. The second part of the question is penalties on employers. Employers, unfortunately, in some of our very important industries, are responsible for encouraging this practice. They have allowed for one of the largest invasions of people, peaceful albeit, in world history, and it's because they continue to want to pay those lower wages. There has to be a penalty for employers that are encouraging this illegal practice.
Thank you. You know, if the federal government doesn't protect our borders, the states are going to have to do so, and I applaud Arizona for trying to protect its citizens through strong immigration laws on a state level. The question related to what penalties, I think the first place we should look at in terms of penalties for employers that hire illegals is for them to compensate the state for the lost revenue that illegal immigration is causing the state of Florida. There's somebody who's unemployed as a result of the employment of an illegal alien, and so I would look first towards some serious financial penalties to pay mitigation, retribution to the state. I think it's important that we ensure that those employers do everything they can do, and if they have done everything they could do to ensure that that person's a citizen, then they not be unfairly punished. But if they are intentionally hiring illegals, they need to pay the cost of the negative impact that is caused.
Bart, do you care to exercise your 30-second rebuttal?
I do. I'd just like to add on that I have owned a business where I used E-Verify, which is a system that checks and verifies that the individual that you have in front of you is actually a citizen of the United States or legal to work in the United States. System worked fine. I think that all employers should be able to use that, and I believe that there should be severe penalties for employers that are hiring illegals knowingly.
I'll just say that at least you guys know what you're going to get on illegal immigration. So, because we all seem to agree on that point.
I agree.